what I have to do. Let me see.
And we're live streaming on YouTube,
YouTube.
yes?
We are.
Okay.
Dan's going to be watching too. He said he was anyway. Okay, so let's see. Let me turn my right now. Yes, right now. We're already live streaming. So there we go. Okay, so I'm going to start then. Let's I feel like I don't have my scruples, but I'll be all right. Here we go. Computer. Yes. Here we go. We're all set. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Goldfish Report. I'm your host and researcher, Louisa. Today is Friday, January 23rd, 2026. This is Goldfish Report number 1191. And so,
Woo!
yeah, it's an interesting number, 1191, right? And so, today we're going to, we have our returning guest again, our Op 4 guest, the controversial topic today has joined us again. Thanks for being with us today.
Thank you, and thank Saltwater Taffy as our sponsor.
Their sponsor. I love saltwater taffy. Here we go again. So, I know some other people that do too. Hey, Dan's in the chat. I know Dan likes taffy too. Hi, Angel Lady. Today we're going to talk about what's happening in the lately in the news, but the first thing we're going to talk about is this storm. We were actually just talking about what to do to prepare and how to help, if you're in the zone of this storm that has all of this ice, what can you do? And I have a list here that I'm going to screen share, which I thought was interesting. This is a guy who lives in South Carolina, North Carolina rather, and he has helped out a lot, in terms of sorry. I have to get this pulled up first. In terms of yeah, here it is. Like when they had the flood down in North Carolina in Asheville, and so he's kind of well known. But let's just take a look at this list. His name is Matt Vanswall. And he says, and let me know, what you think about this. You can put if you have questions for our guest also, you could put them in the chat. We could all talk about it to kind of help ourselves prepare for this a little bit. But gassing up the car, right? Pull some cash if you can, because if the power goes out, and what were you just saying uh, about the ice,
Well,
about the
it's
power?
always, the that's where that's where you end up losing your power.
Yeah. The ice, yeah, because it freezes on the lines and the trees and stuff and the branches, and it uh they snap, right?
Yep. Oh yeah. The weight of the snow when you don't have any leaves left on your trees, you
Mm.
know you're typically okay with. It's when you get all the weight
Yeah.
of on your branches and your power lines, that's where you wind up losing your power the most.
Hmm.
That big ice band. Now, fortunately, where we're at,
Hmm.
the ice band is all supposed to be south of I-40. So we
Oh,
we should miss the ice on this one, hopefully.
well, there's so many people. I mean, we've been watching this for like 5 days. Nobody had any rock salt. I finally went to Tractor Supply and got some rock salt. They had like one pallet left. And it's been very hard to get any up in the Northeast. And so stores, people, are shopping, they're stocking up. They said pick one warm room right now and shut the doors to the rest of the house. I mean, this isn't a nuclear, but in this freezing cold, right? It's like keep the one room warm. How do you do that? And we were just talking about these little, I think they're called little buddy heaters or something like that, and they run on propane. That's a good alternative. There's also kerosene. Um, and these are things you don't have to worry about getting knocked over. because for like animals and stuff, because if you use anything with flames, you're gonna or children around, you're gonna have to contend with the flame and anyway,
Well, and
um
your little buddy propane heaters have your tip over switches in them and stuff like this. So
oh
if it gets knocked over,
mhm.
uh, because I raise exotic animals and they're into everything. So if it gets knocked over or fallen over
Mhm.
or drug across the floor,
Mhm.
they shut off.
So they also says generators. Now, for a lot of people, I know this might seem like common sense, but a lot of people don't really realize you cannot run a generator indoors, period. Do you kind of concur with that? Like no
Well, yeah,
garages or
I
anything?
mean you're running off gasoline, so you're running straight.
Mm,
You're noxing.
yeah. So not even in a garage, they say don't even run it in the garage, which is kind of what I would think about doing, but I don't have a garage, so I can't do that myself, but
You
what
can if here's the exception to that. You can run one in your garage
Mhm.
if you have it close to like an exit door and you run a fan to
Yeah.
blow the exhaust,
Uh-huh.
or say like if you have your garage door
Mhm.
and you set it next to your overhead garage door and open your garage
Mhm.
door just far enough,
Mhm.
like a foot or so, run a fan off the generator, blowing the exhaust out under your main garage door, you're okay. A lot of these things too, if you're running a generator, a lot of them have the carbon monoxide detectors on them.
Oh.
And if you don't run
Mm.
a small household fan next to them, the carbon monoxide will build up around them just sitting wherever they're at.
Wow.
Like if you've got it close to a wall or something outside your house, that
Oh.
they will shut themselves off constantly because of the carbon
Mhm.
monoxide sensors on them. So
Yeah.
anytime that you're going to run one, run it
Mhm.
with a small, and I mean just a cheap 20-inch box fan
Yeah.
on low
Mhm.
will push that stuff out of your garage and you'll be all right.
Oh, that's good to know. Well, thanks for explaining that because a lot of people are unfamiliar with it. Um,
Now,
also,
Ken, let me throw one more thing at you here because a lot of people
yeah.
want to backfeed their panels, okay?
Hmm.
Using like an RV switch or something like this with a generator. And
Uh-oh.
you can do that if you have an ATS or a disconnect. If you don't, you have to pull the meter head. You have to pull the meter head because if the power comes back on off the
Oh.
grid,
Mm.
you are now feeding the bus in your panel from both directions. So,
Oh, yeah.
unless you have an ATS switch or something else set up,
Hmm.
if you're having to feed the bus directly off of a generator, pull your meter head. Once the power company comes through and says, hey, look, power's been restored to your neighborhood, then disconnect your generator and plug your meter head back in, and you're back on regular power. But do not run power, to backfeed your panel in your house without disconnecting the meter head.
Okay.
Because if it feeds from both directions, it's kaboom.
Okay, so some of the viewers have just joined us and they're not sure what we're talking about. We're talking about trying to prepare and ride out this storm, what we could do to prepare and help ourselves. And we're talking about generators and how we don't run generators in the house. And he's
No,
explaining a possible exception to that, and that if you also have it plugged into your panel, your is that circuit board? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, your
Yeah.
electrical panel,
Yeah. Yeah.
your breaker panel. If you run a generator to your breaker panel to backfeed it so that you have power in your house, make
Mm.
sure that you disconnect you pull the meter head out first. If you've lost power, it's not going to make any difference. But if you've
Okay.
lost power, pull the meter head first, then feed your panel with your generator. If you don't do that and the power comes back, you are now your bus in your panel from both directions, and you're going to blow something up.
Mm. Okay. Well, I hope everybody heard that. We have some people in the chat. We have greetings from Dan. He says greetings and says greetings up for. Um, Angel Lady, hi. Susan.
Oh,
Yeah, Susan, hello from she's in Florida. Oh, you've got it made down there.
no kidding. Ask her what the temperature is down there right now.
Yes, Susan, what's the temperature? Tell us what the temperature. JJ, hi JJ. Dan is with us. He says there's now selling water. They're now selling water filtration salt because road salt is gone. Yeah, I mean, does water filtration salt actually work? Like pool salt, like the softener salt that you get for pools and stuff? Does that actually work?
As far as I know, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, he says Buddy Flex have accoutrements for cooking too. Right. Cheryl, hi Cheryl. And Alex, glad you joined us. Karen Foster from New Zealand. Nice to see you, Karen. I'm so glad you joined us. Joanne, I'm so glad to see you, Joanne. You're back again. That's what we're talking about. Yeah, I don't know where you guys aren't all like in this. There's Snowmageddon coming.
Yay.
This was your term. I'm gonna steal it.
Oh
Snow.
yeah, we were talking about earlier. We were talking about Snownado because we're in Oklahoma. We
Okay.
were talking about thunder, sleet, and Snownado, and which C movie actors should be in this.
Yeah, put your comments in the comments. Yeah, Dan says that it melts slower, so I guess it can work. I mean, I was going to go out with Morton salt. No, I have one. They're saying that it's going to be so cold that even ice melt, it's not really going to have that much. It's have an impact. I don't know.
Well, if nothing else, it'll give you some extra traction
Yeah, yeah, traction.
on the ice. That's it. If it doesn't,
Mhm.
if your ice melt doesn't work,
Uh-huh.
it's the same thing like using cat litter on ice. I mean,
Right.
it ain't to melt the ice, but it will give you a little bit of traction on it.
Joanne says she's in Northwest Indiana and it's wind chill is minus 19. So she knows cold for sure. So
I
I
I
was
don't envy you.
I know, right? So I was screen sharing. I was screen sharing a list I thought was a pretty decent list, put together by a fellow who was really, out there helping rescue people, during the Asheville, North Carolina floods. Um,
Right.
and I thought it was pretty good. It was a pretty good list. So, uh, I wanted to get into the headlines, the stories for this week. I have to, let's see, where'd you go? Uh, it's always good though to have extra blankets. If it hasn't hit. Now you're in the Southwest, is that right?
Me, I'm
Yes.
in Oklahoma.
So
Oh, Oklahoma.
yeah, it's windy there.
Yeah,
Um,
where the wind got. Well, we have a saying
how does
here
the song go?
that
Yeah.
in the winter time, the wind doesn't blow in Oklahoma. It sucks.
Well, so you're expecting this like any minute, right? You're getting it first.
We were expecting it from the forecast that they were telling us that we were expecting it to start around noon today, and now they've pushed it back till sometime tonight.
It's been so funny how unpredictable this has been, though. I mean, so I have just so I'm gonna screen share a couple of comical pieces about how it seems like the prediction for this storm has gone, it's been so unpredictable. The only thing that we can predict is that it's been unpredictable because it's like it's going to be here, but then it's not going to be here. And then it's going to do this, but it's not going to do this. And we're not quite sure how that. It's interesting. And I get weathers like that sometimes. Here, always have a manual can opener, have some food that you don't have to worry about cooking, or maybe have, uh, you know, um, let's see what else. Water, always have some extra water on hand if you can find any. Always get your prescription medications filled beforehand wherever you are. I mean, if you're already like we're in Oklahoma, it might be too late. In the Northeast, we still have a little time tomorrow. But I was just looking out my window and oh my goodness, the wind is gusting. So this front is colliding, this low and this high pressure from the south and the low pressure, from the north. And it's just whipping the wind right now. So,
You could literally see the wind shear line in the sky over
mm,
Oklahoma earlier today.
wow.
I was out driving on the highway and had a hard time focusing on traffic because I'm looking up through the windshield, going, "Wow, check that out." Uh,
Wow.
but it literally looked like someone had split the sky in half. I mean,
Yeah.
this looked like a wind shear event that would
Right.
rip the wings off a
Yeah.
plane.
This is what we're looking at it right now, and I don't know if you can see it. Uh, I'm going to try to turn the volume down on the video, but I'm going to play the
That's a
video.
historic or hysteric
Yeah, I
winter
know.
storm.
That's right. It might be hysteric too.
The hysteria hasn't started yet.
Yeah. Exactly. But you can see how big this is. Yeah, it goes right, yeah, right through Tulsa. Look at that. But that might not be the ice line exactly. So I just hope everybody out there stays safe and they can see just how crazy this is and how it's setting up to be, you know, three different kinds of weather in one little section. It doesn't seem to know what it wants to be yet. So,
Right.
yeah, we could see that. So, into some news that we have. I mean, we know that Trump pulled in Davos, we know that Trump pulled us out of the World Health Organization. So, he said he was going to do it. He wrote an executive order to do it, and he's finally done it. So, that's good because that really is a violation of our sovereignty, being involved with the World Health Organization when they've admitted that they've gotten so much wrong about COVID. Like, why are we even listening to them about anything at this point, right?
Well, and you remember the WEF, old Kraut slob, uh, admitted, got what was it, like a year, 2 years ago, that the entire COVID thing was a compliance test
Mm, yeah,
to where will people obey?
right.
Didn't scare them enough to make them obey.
Yeah. Here, Dr. David Martin says,
Oh,
let
yeah.
me play this clip. He's really, in case you haven't heard of him, he's a very prolific, very well-informed individual who has testified on
Yep.
behalf of what is really happening. Let's hear what he has to say in his own words, then I'll let him tell you.
You got no sound on him.
Oh, really? There's
Or at
no
least
sound there?
I'm not hearing any sound on his clip. No.
All right, let's try it again. I'll try screen sharing this again. Hold on. Let me try that again.
And while you're trying to load that, guys,
Yeah.
if you want to find different stuff on David Martin,
Yeah.
uh, two videos that you can look up on Rumble. You want to look up him addressing the EU Parliament,
Yeah.
and you want to look up the other video where he talks about the COVID manufacturing on the Kim Iverson show
Mm.
on Rumble. You can find both
Yeah.
of those links, and it's extremely informative.
Well, he was on the initial pandemic video movie. What was it
Correct.
called? And Judy Mike with Judy Mikovits, and he had explained that he has a business that has a kind of like a linguistic data that analyzes the patents and found out that most patents that there's, oh, I don't know if it's most, he had some percentage, I don't remember what it was, but it was a very large percentage of patents that are functionally the same thing because
Correct.
his linguistic software uh, was able to identify that using different words, but of course, they communicate the same thing, and he was able to find all these patents that had to do with Pfizer and all this other stuff. So let's see if you can hear this. Let me know if you can hear this.
No sound.
Hmm. Well, let me play it because let me see.
Can you hear it on your end?
Yes.
Okay. Is anybody
All right, let me check. Well, because when I screen share, it goes on the full screen. So let me just check in
checking to see if
with
you got
y-
anybody else that
yeah,
can't
I just want to
hear?
see if anyone else is having trouble with it. Are you guys able to hear? Can't you can't hear it? Okay. Oh yeah, Dan says don't forget about massive amounts of toilet paper. Okay. We have
And
CC but no
Brett,
sound. There was no sound. I mean, I don't understand. No,
nothing makes a great makeshift bandage during a winter storm as a few slices of white bread.
that's weird. I mean, were you guys able to hear? No, there wasn't. I'm going to try it again. It should play. There's really no reason why this shouldn't play. Let me see. Sound, stereo, optimize. Um, that's very strange. Let's see how this works this time. There's no sound. I don't hear any sound. Why not?
No sound on him.
Uh, okay, hold on a second. Stop share. I don't know what the heck's going on, guys. I really don't. I'm not
Again, though, guys,
surprised.
if you're wanting to find out stuff on David Martin, two links to look for. Look for him addressing the EU Parliament. Look for that one on Rumble, and
Yeah,
then look up Dr. David Martin on the Kim Iverson show on
yeah,
Rumble, and you'll
yeah.
those two videos will tell you more than
Mm,
anybody else has told you in the past 6 years.
mm. Well, I'm sorry about that, folks. I wasn't able to get the sound. It's in your main Zoom setting. Yeah, well, we'll see.
Yeah, but I mean,
It's not in my main Zoom setting.
at least you've
Yeah.
introduced him to Dave Martin, and there's a lot of good information there with the presentations that he does
Yeah.
because they knew in 1990 when Pfizer did
Mm.
their applications for the spike proteins and everything for their patents
All right.
that no vaccine worked on coronavirus because of the
Right.
way that it morphs to spread. That
Mm.
it
Mm.
is
Mm.
literally it resists the vaccine
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
impulse,
Mm-hmm.
and they do not work.
All right, let's try another video. This is again another Project Veritas expose. Here's a U.S. State Department official admitting that mass immigration is designed to change the demographics of the United States, which we all could figure that out. But anyway,
Well, yeah,
but this is coming from the horse's mouth. So immigrants, especially from Latin America, overwhelmingly vote Democrat, and so Democrats decided to import a new electorate to secure permanent power. Let's see if you can hear
So
this.
what is the end goal? Why are they allowing? They want to change the demographics of the United States. They really do.
Can you
Because
hear
I
it?
mean, no, honestly, the people from Nebraska, like my family's like
Did you hear that?
Yes.
Okay, good. I'll keep playing it.
Americans that have my family's been in the United States for 400 years. Traditional standard Americans are not leftists. Latin America's all leftists, and it's just it literally is. This is just to try to change the demographics.
Oh, thank God Project Veritas is out there doing this stuff because we're hearing it from the horse's mouth. They're trying to change the demographics. Traditional Americans are not leftists. You hear that? It's true.
Yeah.
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 So this is what's behind it all. It's an agenda. And I'm telling you, guys, we are in the fight of our life. Here you have Colonel Douglas McGregor who says to all Americans, our country is lost. I mean, he's already, conceded that this demoralization, this ideological subversion is so successful at infiltrating and capturing America. In his opinion, he thinks it's over already. Um,
No. Nah, he's just being fatalistic.
Fatalistic, yeah.
But
Well,
he's old and soft. He was an armor officer anyway, so he's old and soft.
but he kind of specializes in the like that area where and the events that, formed NATO. So that's like really his specialty, and
Oh,
NATO
I
is
know. Yeah.
right. Yeah, okay.
No, I don't get me wrong. I
Mhm.
I I like I like Doug. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? But
yeah.
but Doug was never in airborne and special operations units. So I
Got
got
it.
to give him shit. It's like, dude, you're soft. Come on. Uh, now the thing is, if you really look at it,
Mhm.
that's one way of seeing it. But if you're looking at the pushback from the right, DEI is dying. Woke
Yeah.
is dying. There's all of that USAID money, like we talked about before, that's been used for the purpose of social engineering, is crashing out monumentally. The uh, the veil is being
Hmm.
pulled back on
Hmm.
these people, and they're getting their pants yanked down in public. The only people that still believe
Hmm.
all of this propaganda are
Hmm.
the people that are paid to push it. Your Rumau
Definitely.
Farms, all of you. I know you've seen that
Mm.
list of like the Krasensteins and JoJo from Jersey and all of those people that were paid by the Biden administration as social media influencers. And they're all running that same share blue script.
Hmm.
And you'll see them all posting the same thing verbatim.
Yeah.
That comes from a share blue script and it's crashing out.
Well, some of my sources have on another topic, but kind of related to this, since we're talking about NATO and we're talking about what's going on um, over and across the pond and beyond. It does look like Trump is flip-flopping a lot when it came to Iran. And he said, he was going to bomb, they were going to take out some areas in Iran. And then Bibi Netanyahu came and then, oh, we're going to do it, but then he didn't do it. And what they're doing, I think, is, look, this is really strategic ops. This is kind of playing chicken a little bit, because when the power went out there, and this was all part of the plan, when the power went out, uh people went on to the Starlink. So in order to continue, so for the deep state, so Trump, I do feel like Trump is taking down some very bad actors across the world. There's no question about it.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think no, whether you like him or hate him, he's got a vision for the future, all right? And he had that vision. It does not, he's not going to share it with the deep state. So he has his own alliances.
I mean, number one, the president has the ability to make limited military strikes
Mhm.
and to be able to use the military for so many days, without Congress's approval.
Uh-huh.
And of course, the left, if you remember back during his first term, Nancy Pelosi wanted you to believe that the president served at the pleasure of Congress, which is absolutely false. But
Mhm.
the reason, one of the biggest reasons that they had to be, so secretive and didn't pre-brief anybody on taking Maduro out is because they would have called him. I mean,
Exactly. Yeah.
Washington leaks like
Yeah.
it's like trying to fill a pasta strainer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Washington leaks like a laundry basket. You are not gonna you're not gonna keep any kind of OPSEC with these people at all.
Well, it just seems to me like it was a an agreed it almost seems like it was an agreed upon surrender, but they couldn't make it look like they couldn't obviously tell people that. It just seemed too easy to go in there. There's a lot to talk about with that, but it seemed,
But
he stood there, Maduro stood there and says, "Come get me, President Trump." And so he did.
right. But the thing is talking about, because the left is all, well, look at how Trump has flip flopped on Greenland. No, he hasn't. It's how if you understand how he forces a subject into public
Yeah.
that people haven't talked about. Denmark has not been fulfilling their obligations on Greenland. And so he forces this topic into public, forces it into discussion. That's how he starts a negotiation.
Hmm.
And now, if you look at what we've come away with, we haven't spent any money. We have mineral rights. We have the ability to put new bases, new personnel on there, and other NATO countries are now stepping up to fulfill their obligations.
Mhm.
That's what he wanted.
Yeah.
So what he does is the best way, all Trump has to do is come out, make a bombastic statement.
Yeah.
It gets everybody talking about it, and it forces people into exposing themselves.
Exactly. A lot of people don't realize that's really the role Trump is playing. You remember he said, they're not after me, they're after you. And he's in the way, he's in the middle. So, he is trying to, but he is also, in fact, did you hear, I'm sure you heard the news, right? That the president was on his way to Davos, and just as he got off the coast, really, of the, New Jersey, it seemed like they had to turn around and come back. And that never happens. It never
Yeah,
happens. Now, I
uh,
have some intel on that, but go ahead.
well, let's say if you just take what the White House put out at face value, if they have a warning light comes on that could just be a short,
Hmm.
right? In the warning light itself. With Air Force One, they're not going to take any chance. They're going to turn around and come back.
Yeah,
Now, you have to look at these two new 747s were ordered 10 years ago during his first term, and Boeing still has not delivered on them.
hmm,
He is flying a 40-year-old plane. So if there's any kind of, you know, the pilot sits up in the front seat and goes,
hmm,
"Hey, there's a loose screw in my seat mount here
hmm.
because my seat's jiggling back and forth." They're going to land it and check it out.
Yeah. Well, some of the one of my sources, it's a military source that I get some of this information from, had said that the reality of why they stopped was because um, there were nuclear subs. But like not everybody is happy that Trump's I mean, the deep state's not happy that he's getting rid of the deep state. So that there were nuclear subs, not just and they are capable of having the nuclear, but also directed energy weapons, I'm told. I can't confirm that. That's just what my source is telling me. So clearly, it was interesting because just the other day, someone posted and I hate to bring this up, but The Simpsons had this date, like this time frame and I don't know if it was actually a real Simpsons or someone AI generated it. I don't know. But it's that it was had Trump assassinated. So he's had a lot of assassinations. He's definitely using more than one. I mean, there's no question that there's blue tie, red tie. We've known this since he started. That he has body doubles or whatever because I mean they don't. They want to take him out. They're Trump is taking them out, and this new financial system is going to. I mean, i- for people who stole a lot of US dollars, it's
Mm.
we're going through a transition where they're not going to be able to cash them in and use them. So this is, I think where that's going to be going with the financial system is that, and not only that, I mean, Trump passed executive orders to seize the assets of people involved, not only in human trafficking and human rights abuses, but also in election interference. So what Trump's doing right now is he's really collecting all the people involved, but he's doing it in such a strategic, masterful way. God only knows how he's really figuring it all out. But uh, well, supposedly they're using this very advanced, uh, technology, this plasma technology, this looking glass technology that the military has in order to see futuristic probabilities of certain choices and decisions and things that are made. And so it does appear that maybe some of that, and it has been game theory operations, when you're thinking of creating a video game or you're, playing a game, it's a lot of strategy like chess, right? So you have to think ahead, all these different moves. And it really is like playing chess. So really Trump has a lot of enemies. There's people who, are very happy to push the button, the red button. And I think that's what my sources said, that there were nuclear subs off the coast and they were going to target his plane as he left. So I think they had to turn around, get a decoy plane. They had to do other things. I mean, we know they have the maglevs underneath the underground. They don't even need to fly. Really, I'm not sure. I think maybe they
Well,
just do it because they don't want to reveal that they already have the maglev tunnels.
another way to look at this, though, too,
Mhm.
even if you want to disrupt, okay, and and Donald Trump knows the power of disruption,
Yeah.
okay, of uh we've all anybody people that you're seeing in the chat, everybody's familiar with Tony Robbins, right?
Right, probably.
And Tony Robbins gets you on stage and starts asking you to tell the story of your life. And you start telling the story of your life, you become the CD player. He spools you up and you start with track one,
Mm.
and here you go. And track one starts to play on repeat like it always does. And then Tony Robbins throws a glass of water in your face. And you can literally hear the record
Mhm.
scratch sound effect in the background, like you always hear on a movie where somebody gets mentally reset to where they can't continue on with their train of thought because they've just been disrupted.
Mm.
Trump is masterful at throwing a glass of water in somebody's face and knocking them off of their platform to where he could gain control of the conversation
Yeah.
and force them where
Mm.
he wants them to go.
Yeah.
If if we're doing hand-to-hand combat training and I want you to shift to my left, I circle towards my right, your left,
Hmm.
and you step where I want you to be, thinking it's your idea.
Mm,
Okay. And
yeah.
that's exactly what he does. He's feinting with the jab to set someone up for the straight right. That's just what he does.
Yep.
And he does a masterful job of it, because every time that he wants to force something in front of the public, he's able to do so, because the left is so, rent free in their head 24/7.
Yeah.
They hate Trump so much, but it's all they can ever talk about.
It's true. And I'm going to go back. So in other words, let me just so he does have this effect. I mean, he does rub a lot of people the wrong way, and it does look like he's flip-flopping, but realize that that there's a lot of this game theory going on, and there's a lot of, um uh you know uh bait and switch kind of thing happening. So this is what happened. According to my sources, the blackout in Iran was essentially a staged event where it's kind of like, I hate to use the term that George Bush used because I don't like George Bush, but he kind of smoked them out, if you know what I mean, out of their hole, Um, and so they had a lot of deep state operators in Iran. And when this blackout happened, uh, all these people had their Starlink backups, and they were able to locate where they were and find them. So, look, if they didn't want this information getting out, they certainly wouldn't have made it accessible to me. You would think that that would be kind of important, right? In terms of, techniques and that they use in war. But we are at war. I mean, there's no question we're at war with the deep state, with the
Correct.
old military industrial complex that can't believe that, that it's their end.
Well, and of course, you corner them,
Mm.
and they're gonna lash. I mean, you look at them, and this is like their death throes
Hmm.
at this point. He has he's disrupted things. Putin has disrupted things. Uh, to
Yeah.
where you have the WEF and all these little control freaks
Yeah.
uh, that are that are being knocked off their perches. Okay, they're being knocked off their perches now. You've heard Kraut Slob make his statements about how Putin ruined everything.
Mhm.
Trump's threat, and they're literally saying it now, that Trump is threatening. I can't remember which one of the little EU puppets that said it at Davos, that Trump is threatening the liberal
Mm.
world order, not the new
Mm.
world order, the
Interesting.
liberal world
Hmm.
order of doing things. Because let's face it, the EU is irrelevant. The UN is
Yeah.
irrelevant.
Truly.
NATO is irrelevant.
Hmm.
And
Truly.
what's so funny is one of them was I saw one of their pundits making a claim, it's on CNN of all
Hmm.
places,
Mm.
that well, but the US has been the biggest beneficiary of NATO. Are you out of your mind?
Right.
No, we are, you know, we are the benevolent benefactor
Mm.
for NATO,
Mm.
carrying everybody else. And there's
Yes.
no point in
Yes.
us carrying other countries
Hmm.
that aren't going to step up and take care of themselves.
Yeah.
The EU are client states. NATO are client. They're not our allies. They're client states.
Interesting. Well,
So,
yeah. Here's
you
here's
know,
here's some more on Trump. at Davos this year. Let's hear what he had to say.
To be prosecuted for what
Let's
they
see. Okay.
a giant ocean. It's a war that should have never started, and it wouldn't have started. Example, we are thousands of miles away, separated by. I wouldn't have NATO if I didn't get involved in my first term. The war with Ukraine is an example. We are thousands of miles away, separated by a giant ocean. It's a war that should have never started, and it wouldn't have started if the 2020 U.S. presidential election weren't rigged. It was a rigged election. Everybody now knows that. They found out. People will soon be prosecuted for what they did. It's probably breaking news, but it should be. It was a rigged election. Can't have rigged elections. You need strong borders, strong elections, and ideally a good press. I always say it. Strong borders, strong elections, free, fair elections, and a fair media. The media is terrible. It's very crooked. It's very biased, terrible.
Sorry. So he says pretty soon, he says that's breaking news, right? That people are going to be arrested soon. He's saying that, you will see people prosecuted for stealing the 2020 election. I'm sure Maduro has a hell of a lot to do with that because Dominion is made in, came from Venezuela and the Smartmatic, right? And so that was their hub and they, worked out of all of those. All the other countries. We had, what was in Italy, it was in Germany, right? There was all kinds of stuff going on in all different states. But moving along on this, we have Thomas Massey posted today. Federal law says new cars after 2026 must monitor drivers and shut down if the car disapproves. Oh, your dashboard should not be the judge, jury, and executioner. What do you think of this?
Right. I think Massey's half a lunatic. I really do because
Good
it's
place.
like, he's a broken clock.
Hmm.
He may be right twice a day, but then he's a lunatic the rest of the time.
Hmm.
And he's obviously compromised because every time that it turns into, you want to find out who's compromised, who's voting against or speaking out
Mm.
against deportation operations,
Yeah.
who's speaking out against removing Maduro,
Right.
who's speaking out against closing the border every single time. And that's what you're doing is you're smoking them out and you're forcing them to expose themselves.
Right.
There is no reason for anyone that is loyal to this country to oppose strong borders and
Right.
and a strong. How many times did you hear
Yeah.
Clinton, Bush, Obama, Biden? Our immigration system is broken
Yeah.
because you broke it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, the laws have been there for 100 years,
Mm.
and you don't enforce them.
Yeah.
So when you have someone actually enforcing the law,
Mhm.
and it comes right back to that question that you and I have discussed, Dan and I have discussed years ago.
Mhm.
How much money do I have to cost you?
Mhm.
And I guarantee you he's finishing this sentence as I'm speaking it.
Yeah.
How much money do I have to cost you before you want me killed? And you have to look at the amounts involved.
Mm.
This isn't $50 in a pair of Jordans. Okay, this isn't the crackhead lunatic running around up in Minnesota claiming he's an infantry combat veteran when the guy was a pack clerk that got a a bad conduct discharge for larceny theft.
Mm.
That all of these people are fake. I noticed that I was reading stuff earlier. The Krasenstein brothers, that Elon Musk is now reviewing a lot of the different stuff that they've been doing on the X, the former Twitter platform.
Mm-hmm.
People are like, these guys have been doing a lot of illegal shit, and
Yeah.
he's about to kick them off. Um, they're losing their grip. They're losing their power. And the fake shit is all getting unmasked. At least half of the Democrats in Congress and the Senate use fake names. They
Yeah.
use backgrounds. Blumenthal, Blumenthal, he was special forces in Vietnam. Right. No, you aren't. Um, the You remember when they had the little Catholic kids at the Capitol and the old the Native American shitbag that was out there beating his drum in front of them, and
Right.
they're trying to say, "Oh, he was this, that, whatever."
Covington House. It was had to do with the kid, the
Yeah,
boy
but
from Covington House.
he
Yeah.
was a refrigerator
The scam.
repairman here in the States. Okay, Duckworth, Tammy Duckworth, their poster child for
Mm.
combat veteran. She never flew in combat. She was doing she was a piss poor pilot
Mm-hmm.
that was doing an evaluation flight with an instructor that had been, it was so long since they'd been in the air, she crashed a helicopter because she was an incompetent pilot. She
Mm.
was not in combat. Um, who is their little favorite their favorite shining sun of the Capitol cops that was just there at the Jack Smith testimony? Fat
Mm.
Tony, whatever the hell his name is.
Uh-huh.
This guy's full of shit. You can you find all Citizen Lens put up videos of him and other imposters dressing up as MPD officers on J6. He's a crisis actor.
Yeah.
The fake photos of him in the hospital beaten half to death without a fucking mark on it.
Mm.
All right. You can find photos with him with all kinds of celebrities, uh, partying with Hunter Biden, hanging out with Nancy Pelosi, sitting on the sofa,
Mm-hmm.
right next to Kathy Griffin, with Rosie O'Donnell standing right behind him, and I can send you that picture. You can't verify any of his law enforcement background, but his SAG card is still active. Uh, they're
Yeah.
all fake.
Well,
They're fake
right.
as hell. Fake
Well,
backgrounds, Manchurian candidates,
yeah.
crisis actors, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah, there's a lot of it is fake. I mean, there's a reason that the Smith-Mundt Act was not restored. In 2012, the Smith-Mundt Act was appealed by Obama, and it hasn't been restored, and that prohibits the government from using propaganda against its
Correct.
citizens. So, this for people who didn't know, right? And so this is there's a lot of phony baloney going on, and let's hope that there's not actual people getting hurt. But let me also just show this video clip here that talks about um let me see, let me find that one. Here it is. So here we have everyone's favorite villain. I hate to say it that way, but it's not really. The Pfizer CEO Albert Bourla has a public meltdown here at the World Economic Forum. Let's listen to what he has to say, because I think you're going to want to know um,
I feel
that.
so bad for him.
Yeah, well, I know, right? But it's just like, I mean, it's good news for us, right? So let's listen to what he has to say. Let me see if he
You kind of fundamentally.
It's a different world when you start discussing vaccines. There is almost like a religion there. So I'm very concerned, very frustrated with that. But I continue engaging, and we have, as I said, a very strong and respectful, both ways, relationship, and we can chat about that.
So, sort of discuss the things that you can get agreements on, and park the issues that you kind of fundamentally disagree on. Works for a while, but it's not a sort of sustainable kind of thing for years to come. Something has to change, no?
The Secretary of Health.
Yes.
It's a different world when you start discussing
okay.
vaccines.
So
it's almost like a religion there.
Okay, he's having a meltdown because he's saying that you know, there's a concern over the growing number of people refusing vaccines. Duh, he thinks so. It's he says he's calling it a new religion. Right? He says he's deeply concerned and frustrated, blasting religious driven anti science rhetoric. Yet here we have in the next post, Nicholas Holscher, who is an epidemiologist. He says Pfizer is a criminal enterprise. He says 107 criminal penalties since 2000, paid $11 billion in fines. Convictions span false advertising, fraud, kickback schemes, bribery, safety violations, and fraudulently manipulated their COVID shot trial data, causing catastrophic harm. So, obviously no one's crying for them exactly. And there's reason. I mean, even I have a video here from Trump's Truth Social. Let me see if I could find it. Forgive me for scrolling, but that's the only way you can find anything on this channel.
Scrolling on that, because you can
Yeah.
you can love me or hate me, and of course you love me unless you're insecure.
Yeah.
But uh, but when you start talking about this, if you
Sorry, go ahead.
3 doses,
Yeah.
you better go get an AIDS test.
Right. HIV tests, exactly. Here, let's listen to what President Trump posted on Truth Social. And notice how it says they're all poison. Let's listen to what he's saying.
Yeah.
Show them the thimerosal bottle, which we keep in a metal container because we're a little afraid of it, and it's a very fine powder.
This is thimerosal, which is labeled very toxic, has cumulative effects, can cause damage to the kidneys, to the respiratory system, skin, to the nervous system. Specifically warns on here that it can cause reproductive and developmental toxicity, meaning that it can cause things like autism and other neurodevelopmental disorders. This is immensely toxic stuff.
And it's in vaccine.
And this is what's in the vaccine. It's important to realize we're talking about a whole range of products. Vaccines are a big one because, of course, you're directly injecting it. For example, this is tetanus vaccine. This one expires. It's a little outdated now, in 2007. Here's the thimerosal. 1 to 10,000 is a preservative. Perhaps the biggest one in the U.S., at least, that's for exposure to mercury is the influenza vaccine. Influenza vaccine is now recommended for all pregnant women, all infants, all children on a yearly basis. You're supposed
You
to
have
get
last
that
year's
shot.
influenza?
Stop it there because that's enough, right? To know that, and I mean, are people completely just putting their head under the rock? Like they don't even, they don't do any research on this. They've never heard of thimerosal.
Again,
Yeah.
those two videos that I keep bringing up about Dr. Dave Martin.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'm going to share the links over to you because I have them both.
Okay, good. Yeah, send them to me.
Where people
Email.
go to Rumble
Email them.
and listen to Dave Martin actually talk about how all of this has been done.
Yeah. Yeah.
Martin,
Systematically.
It's straight up murder.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
and Pfizer
I
has been
commit
at the
this very,
center
very.
of this
Yeah.
since the 1990s.
So you just have to listen. I just wanted to play this other clip. This is Dr. Peter McCullough at the White House, apparently, and there was so let's listen to what they have to say here because I know they're going to comment on this.
What are your thoughts on the new vaccines that they're pushing out now?
I mean, I think that going and getting a COVID-19 booster is now reserved for the mentally ill and those who are making a political statement. I've seen this. I'm not going to listen to anything Secretary Kennedy says. I'm going to go get a COVID-19 booster. There's nothing, and we document this very, very carefully in our book. There's nothing in the COVID-19 vaccine program, starting with the fact they don't work. They don't prevent infection and transmission. The entire COVID-19 vaccine program is a fraud. So I think the American people are going to have to wake up to this reality.
Absolutely.
Whoa, okay. That's a
And
lot.
that's one of the things that David Martin talks about on that Kim Iverson interview is that people do not want to believe that your government would intentionally harm you. And he's like, and you got to get that belief out of your head because they absolutely will. And they did.
Unfortunately, we've seen that. And we have seen, the mandates, which should have never been mandated under emergency use authorization. You cannot mandate a vaccine.
I mean, look at all the pilots now, the pilots that were forced to get the vaccine, but the cardio problems that it caused them to where now they can't get medicals to fly anymore.
Right.
The myocarditis, they can't fly anymore. Turbo cancers, all of these other things that they used. And I did this several years ago that anybody that is still going, well, mistakes were made. No, there weren't mistakes made.
Oh, it was premeditation.
Intentional. Anybody that is holding public office that is still pushing the COVID vaccine narrative needs to be removed. Anyone that is running for public office needs to be immediately disqualified and run out of town. Yeah. Because there is no mistaking this whatsoever. None.
Right.
Okay. They are either too corrupt to be making decisions on anybody's lives, or they're too stupid to know how corrupt it is, or a combination of the two.
It's unbelievable and it's unmanageable and it's unbelievable that it's already an hour. We're already past the hour. Actually, we're going a little bit over. It's been an hour already. We are just cruising with information here, and there's so much to talk about. But sometimes it's really good to, maybe these are some headlines that you heard of last week or even previous to that. But it's good to know that we have to have discourse on these subjects because we have to remember that we still have the First Amendment. Right. Actually, I don't believe we do. Personally, my personal experience, because I know from firsthand, right? They used my First Amendment right to take custody of my children away from me. This is what they did. I know for a fact that they do this. So it's like, why would you ever trust them? And it's just give them an opportunity, to show you who they are. They'll tell you who they are. Just believe them. Yeah.
You know what they did to me in 2022. So yeah.
What'd they do?
I was erased in 2022, mid-sentence. Here's all you need to know about these people. It has never happened in history that the president of the United States was universally removed from all social media platforms, all network TV stations. Everyone cut the president off from the public, from being able to speak to his citizens. That's never happened in history. He was too dangerous because he was saying things we didn't like. That's insanity. Assad was still on TV. The Ayatollah was still on TV.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, raving lunatics are still on television, running to the microphones, but the president of the United States, the leader of the free world, had to be silenced.
You know, I bet they'd give the Zodiac Killer a podcast faster than long before they'd ever give Trump you know, his due on television. You know, it just
absolutely. You know, like what was it? Who was it when Nathan Lane went on the was hosting the award shows and telling people, you know, that if Lucifer started a production company, you'd have your agent calling him. You know, that it was just, it's that bad.
It is that bad, which is why reports like doing these reports are so important to keep, you know, the discourse going and allowing people to talk about the fact that this is what's happening. And I don't know. I just know that we need to get this ship in order. That's how I think about it.
And more people, you know, need to be stocking up on saltwater taffy.
I agree. You should go into business and make some. I'll tell you, I'd buy some.
Well, I am making saltwater taffy. As a matter of fact, you know, I have Tinkerbear. You know, my oldest raccoon is in there whipping up a batch right now in the kitchen. So, you know, if you want, you know, real quality saltwater taffy, lovingly massaged with raccoons' little rubbery hands, that's the guy to get it from.
You know, I'm gonna collect. You know what's gonna happen? All my viewers and everybody who comes by in the chats, they're all gonna be lovers of saltwater taffy.
Of course they are. Tell us which flavor you like best, because I can tell you from that personality profile test that we've done before what your true personality is by which flavor of saltwater taffy you prefer.
Yeah.
And if it's banana, I'm not talking to you anymore.
Well, strawberry's my favorite, so I guess I'd have to do strawberry. But I like strawberry banana.
Well,
I do like banana.
Banana's not bad. I with young raccoons, you know, when you're trying to get them to eat, because a young raccoon won't eat the same thing twice. Anybody that's ever raised raccoons can tell you this. It's harder than getting kids to eat.
Oh my God.
When they're the first 6 months of their life, they will suck this down today and they'll never touch it again. But they love strawberry banana yogurt, and
that's funny.
For a limited time. And so I got hooked on strawberry banana yogurt because I always had it on hand. I love strawberry banana, but artificial banana flavoring.
Yeah.
It's like eating mothballs, man. I mean,
that's pretty bad.
Visual.
I agree. Some bananas are, look, there's this one brand. I'm gonna confess, I did get some banana like a few months ago, and it was horrible. It was like this, it was like it was mixed with stink bug, You know that stink bug smell? It was
Yep.
so bad that I couldn't eat it. It was like the smell of it was not right. And I don't banana
There's one specific
weird.
store that we will buy bananas from here.
Yeah.
We won't buy them from anybody else because there is that much of a difference in the taste and quality
Yeah.
of their bananas. And I don't know what kind of psychotropic shit they're shooting in the rest of them
Yep.
that
Oh,
makes
that's
me
an
immune to bullshit, but
that's
other
another
people,
thing.
I don't know.
Well, I want to thank everyone who joined us tonight. Thanks for all of your comments. Karen, you can't get it. You can't get saltwater taffy in New Zealand. You should email me your address. Somehow, some magically will may appear at some point.
Yeah. Well,
But
we'll make sure to smuggle it into you.
oh, from Albany's Candy Factory in Maryville, Indiana. All right, let's write this down, guys. Let's write it all down. So, um, okay, and that's in Maryville, Indiana. So I want to thank everybody for joining us tonight. Good luck with this storm. I hope everybody stays safe. We'll get through it again. Um, maybe it won't be as bad. It seems to be coming later and later. It's this day, but no, then it's this day, and then it's that day again. So, whatever happens to you, please stay safe, stay warm, look on the elderly, call people, ask, see if they're okay and they need anything, and be a good neighbor, just be a good neighbor, how you want them to treat you. So,
Right.
thanks for joining us today, and we'll see everybody next week, God willing. In
And
this
feel free to catch us over on the controversial topic today
on
on your
TikTok.
social media platforms.
Okay.
We've been kind of slow this week because of the storm prep and
Right.
everything. So
Yeah.
feel free to join us over there, and we can either tickle your funny bones or insult your intelligence.
Right. I'm gonna show the TikTok channel. So for viewers who aren't familiar, the controversial topic today, sorry, I forgot about that. I was just talking about all this stuff, is right here on TikTok. And you have other platforms as well, but this is the one that I had bookmarked. And these have, headline stories that, well, actually it's the controversial topic of the day. So, today, but of the day, if you go back to it, right? So there's plenty of great headlines there too. There's plenty to share to go around, everybody. So be safe. Have a great weekend. And I'll see you back. I'll see you on Facebook next week if they allow me to keep posting there. Otherwise, we'll be back on YouTube. And
All right.
eventually, we'll probably make our way to do live streams on what is the other one? Oh, I forgot what it's called. Rumble. Thank you.
Rumble.
Just slipped my
Yeah, we'll
mind.
all go over there with Rumble and
Pretty soon.
dogpile into Steven Crowder's studio and make fun of Candace.
Oh no. So guys, don't forget, my link to my Rumble channel is in the description section of this video. So if you can't find us, eventually I may be going more to Rumble. I haven't really used it that much, but I should be actually. So all right, guys, stay safe.